Wait a second, I thought this was a football video. Make no mistake about it, Drake London is a football player, and pretty soon he's going to be dunking on your favorite NFL team. He has some of the most fun highlights you'll see of anybody in this class. He has an unbelievable analytical profile. He has prototypical size for the wide receiver position at 6'4" and 220 pounds. And if he hadn't broken his ankle, he was on pace to shatter records this year at USC. He's widely expected to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft, maybe even top 10, but can he separate, or is he just a contested catch wide receiver? Let's get into the film and find out. So let's mix things up and talk about a weakness first. Drake London does not have great deep speed. When he goes deep on go routes, defenders are consistently running hip to hip with him. It's all over his tape. And because defenders are not scared of his speed, they don't have to give as much cushion. Watch number 8 here. London is going to run a comeback route, which means his goal is to sell that he's going deep. And he does, but the defender doesn't care. Instead of turning away from the quarterback and sprinting to get a head start on London, he sits on the route the whole time. London sinks his hips perfectly on this comeback route. It's textbook, but he still creates very little separation. This kind of play is exactly why London gets a reputation for being a guy who can't separate. And I honestly thought the same thing at first. But here's the thing, his coach compared him to Mike Evans, and I don't think that did him any favors. Because Mike Evans is fast, and he's primarily a downfield threat. So slow Mike Evans equals N'Keal Harry, right? Drake London is not Mike Evans, and he's not primarily a downfield threat. In the short to intermediate game, Drake London is a route technician. And while lacking top speed, he is surprisingly explosive in and out of his breaks for a guy his size. Watch him consistently win on inside releases, watch him manipulate defenders with his eyes, sharply break out of the stem of his routes to create separation. Not one of these plays is a contested catch. And I said getting open downfield is not a strength, but it's not for lack of route running. He's just a little slow. Look at these beautiful double moves to get open for huge plays. He also has great football IQ, consistently finding the soft spot in the zone and moving with his quarterback on broken plays to give him an option. All of this is why he earned almost 15 targets per game in 2021. That doesn't happen if you're just a contested catch guy. Drake London is a possession receiver. He's more Mike Thomas than Mike Evans, and that to me gives him even higher upside. And then when he catches these short to intermediate balls, he's special after the catch in a way you just don't often see from a big man. He reminds me of Brandon Marshall in this regard. He has unreal contact balance for a wide receiver. Guys have a way of just falling off of him. Watch him truck through half the UCLA team en route to this big touchdown. He always seems to be thinking 3 steps ahead, preparing his body for the moves he's about to make before the ball even gets there. He's surprisingly elusive, making defenders miss on mean dead leg cuts and crafty spins. He's not a threat to take every short pass to the house, but he does regularly get chunks of extra yardage after the catch. London also has a little bit of nasty to his game. As I studied the film, it stood out to me that he is an unbelievable run blocker. Not every guy with a big body relishes playing bully ball like this. He gives consistently great effort on every play, even when it's not drawn up for him. Coaches are going to love that, and it's going to make sure that he stays on the field and out of the doghouse. And now we get to the cherry on top. Because on top of everything else that I just said, he's also 6'4" and 220 pounds. With long arms and a ridiculous vertical leap, and he's not going to hesitate to put NFL DBs on a poster. On top of his massive catch radius, he also has elite body control, elite ball tracking, and really strong hands. When all else fails, the quarterback can chuck it up and say, Drake London's down there somewhere, and he's going to come down with it more often than not. So what the world knows about Drake London is really just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, he's gonna moss some people, but he's so much more than that. He's gonna be a target hog at the next level, a chain mover, a yak king, a quarterback's best friend. I do have some concerns about his lack of speed. The margin for error is only going to get smaller at the NFL level. But ultimately, there's more than one way to win, and this is a dude that consistently wins. As of this recording, London is my wide receiver 4 in this class, and if you want to know where the other wide receivers stack up in my rankings, check out this playlist right here.